The snow had already swallowed the road by the time Clara reached the ranch gate. Her boots torn, her fingers numb, and her pride long gone. She hadn't eaten properly in 3 days. The small town behind her had shut its doors one by one. First the bakery, then the inn, then even the church hall where she once slept under pews pretending to pray. Hunger has a way of stripping dignity faster than cold strips skin. When she knocked on the massive wooden door of the ranch house, she wasn't asking for kindness anymore. She was bargaining with survival. The man who opened the door was not what she expected. Tall, broad-shouldered, weather-worn, with eyes that looked like they had seen too many winters and too much loss. His name was Elijah Crow, a rancher feared for his silence, rumored to be cold as the land he owned. Clara told him the truth before fear could stop her. She would work, clean, cook, sleep in the barn if needed, or even give herself, if that's what it took, in exchange for food and shelter. The words tasted like ash, but she said them anyway. Elijah didn't touch her, didn't smile, didn't judge. He just stared at her like she had handed him something, broken and precious at the same time. Instead of answering, he handed her a bowl of stew, steaming and thick, and watched as she cried while eating, her hands shaking too badly to hold the spoon steady. That night she slept by the fire, fully clothed, expecting the door to open at any moment. It never did. Days passed. She worked from dawn until nightfall, her body aching but her stomach finally full. Elijah kept his distance, speaking only when necessary. The ranch hands whispered. They assumed she was there for one reason. Clara heard them and said nothing, because in her mind, that's exactly what she was worth. One evening, as snow fell heavy and the wind screamed like a warning, Elijah found her in the old storage shed, trying to patch her torn dress with shaking hands. He placed a thick wool coat around her shoulders and said quietly, "You don't owe me your body." "You never did." That sentence shattered something inside her. No one had ever said that before. Still, Clara didn't trust it. Kindness, she had learned, often came with a price. She waited for the demand. It never came. Instead, Elijah began repairing the unused room beside the main house. New boards, a window, a door that locked from the inside. When she asked why, he only said, "Everyone deserves a place that's theirs." And that night, as Clara lay on a real bed for the first time in years, she realized the deal she thought she made was never the deal he accepted. If this story is touching your heart, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Stories like this remind us that humanity still exists. Even in the coldest places, spring came slowly, as if the land itself was cautious about hope. Clara changed too. The fear in her eyes softened. Her laughter returned in small, surprised bursts, like she wasn't used to hearing it herself. She learned the rhythms of the ranch, the language of animals, the quiet strength of Elijah's world. But the past doesn't disappear just because the present is kind. One afternoon, men from her old town arrived at the ranch, sneering, laughing, calling her by names she tried to forget. They hinted at what she had once offered for food, twisting it into something filthy. Clara stood frozen, shame flooding back, until Elijah stepped forward, not angry, not loud, just unmovable. He told them to leave his wife alone. The word wife echoed louder than any shout. Clara didn't understand, not until that night, when Elijah placed a simple ring in her palm, his hands trembling for the first time since she'd known him. He confessed that he didn't save her to own her, and he didn't build the room to keep her. He did it because he saw someone the world had failed, and he couldn't become another man who took without giving back. The proposal wasn't dramatic. No kneeling, just honesty, a choice. For the first time in her life, Clara was being asked, not traded. She said yes through tears. Not because she needed shelter, but because she had already found a home. Their wedding was small, no town guests, just the land, the wind, and promises made slowly. Clara wore a simple dress she sewed herself, standing in the doorway of the room Elijah built, the room that marked the moment she stopped being someone who survived and started being someone who lived. The ranch hands watched in silence, understanding they had witnessed something rare. Not a rescue, a partnership. Years later, travelers would stop at the Crow Ranch and hear the story wrong. They'd say the woman sold herself and got lucky. Clara would smile and say nothing. Elijah would simply take her hand. Because the truth was, better than the rumor, she didn't trade herself for food and shelter. She was given respect, safety, and love. And in return, she gave a broken man a family. If this story moved you, inspired you, or made you believe in second chances, subscribe now. Every subscription helps us share more powerful human stories that deserve to be told.